Hi, everybody. Matt Bernier, DRF's national handicapper, Mike Watchmaker, taking a look at this weekend's Weekend Warrior for Saturday, February the 24th. Two races from Gulfstream Park, one from Santa Anita. Mike, let's start off with the Hal's Hope. It's a one-turn mile. It's a grade 3 event. You've got the return of a couple of big names. You have Send It In, who earned that 119 buyer last year. Haven't seen him since. Obviously, Irish War Cry, many people are interested in. Where did you ultimately go?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Irish War Cry. He's the horse I picked in the Derby and Preakness last year, Derby and Belmont last year. So I am a fan of his, but I'm looking elsewhere in this race. I just think Irish War Cry is at risk of driving a very tough trip down on the inside with all the speed outside of him. And I also think he's probably looking for longer, richer races down the road, too. I'm going with economic modeling here. I think the pace is going to be contested, and I think I might set it up for him. And economic model had a disappointing year last year, but at least I can say that in his most recent appearance in the Fall at Belmont Park, he did win a 1 mile allowance race. That's the conditions of this race. It's a one-turn, 1 mile race. And it was his best race since his best races as a 3-year-old. And his best races as a 3-year-old were really pretty darn good. He won the Easy Goer. He finished, I thought, a terrific second in the Dwyer while running against a profound dead rail, and was a good, willing second in the Grade 1's King's Bishop to a champion in Dreyfong. I think if economic model can run back to those races, he can compete with these horses, especially if Irish War Cry isn't ready for his best race and if he draws a tough trip like I'm expecting to. And I also think that this is a pretty aggressive spot for this horse. I mean, Chad Brown could have run this horse in a whole bunch of different races. And putting him back at stakes level after the iffy year he had last year, I think is a very positive sign.
Earlier on the card, race number 6 is another race that you're interested in. Use the Texas Glitter, 5/8 of a mile on the turf. Todd Pletcher has the inside 2 runners, Salmon Azar as well as Barbarossa. You're going with Barbarossa.
I am. I just think there's a tremendous amount of speed in this race. I'm scared of Reed Can, because Reed Can 2 starts back, made his turf debut, and he won going 5 furlongs at Gulfstream Park. He disputed the early pace, drew off, and he won fairly convincingly. He was a big price that day. He was 21-1, but he got a field best buyer of 88. I mean, and if he runs back to that race, he's going to be tough to beat. But I think there's more quality speed that he has to contend with this time, namely Salmon Azar and also Shang Royal. And I think that may take the starch out of him. And I just wanted someone who can come off the pace, and Barbarossa is that horse. And he did narrowly miss going 7.5 furlongs at Gulfstream last time out, but I do like to cut back to 1 turn for him because he ran very well in 1-turn turf races in New York, 2 and 3 starts back, including a maiden win 2 back, which I thought was just very good, even if it was against New York Reds. And I think that makes him the most dangerous stretch threat.
As far as Salmon Azar is concerned, are you looking at this saying this is nothing more than a means to an end, or do you think this is ultimately maybe what his game will be, turf sprinting?
I really don't know, Matt. I mean, I don't know what to make of this horse other than the fact that he showed speed in early 2-year-old races last year. And he's got 2 horses in Shang Royal and Reed Can who are going to show speed to his outside in here. Shang Royal might not look as fast as these horses on paper, but he's trained by Wesley Ward, so you know he's fast. And whereas Reed Can is obviously clearly fast. And I don't like being the inside horse in a 3-way speed duel. It's not the spot I'd like to be in. And so I don't know what kind of means to an end it is. I think Salmon Azar is just in trouble in this race.
2 stakes races going down the hill out at Santa Anita, and this is the 3rd and final race for this weekend's Weekend Warrior. The Grade 3 Daytona, 6.5 down the hillside turf course. Conquest Tsunami is an interesting runner where his Southern California debut was sparkling. You think he can replicate it?
I do, and I'm taking him to win right back. I mean, the horse to beat in here is obviously Stormy Liberal. Stormy Liberal is making his return to the U.S. after a failed trip to Hong Kong for the Hong Kong Sprint. And this is the horse who you may remember upset the Breeders' Cup turf sprint at Del Mar at 30-1, much to my chagrin, because I needed the horse that got me the nose in that race. But in any event, Stormy Liberal run that race off a 5-month layoff, and he's coming into this off a 2-month layoff. So the layoff's no problem, nor is the downhill. I mean, he's 7 for 12 in his life on the downhill. I just think Conquest Tsunami is the now horse here. I mean, he made his first start for Peter Miller last time. He ran the best race of his life. He absolutely crushed a reasonably good field. I think he's going right to the lead in this race, and I'm looking for him to go wire to wire.
Yeah, Peter Miller also has Calculator in a spot like this, showed some new early speed that he had never shown in his entire career. They're drawn right next to one another. Do you think Calculator is the one that sort of lets the other horse go, Conquest Tsunami?
I just don't know where Calculator came up with that show of early speed. I mean, this is Peter Miller's got the three main players in this race. I don't know where that show of speed came from Calculator before. I just think Conquest Tsunami is a faster horse anyway.
Great stuff as always, Mike. The Weekend Warrior. You can find this every Thursday up on video.drf.com and the Daily Racing Forums YouTube channel. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks a lot, Matt.